Alright, so what's next for me and the channel following Defending the Mall? I know I said the answer to this is complicated in the developer commentary, and that's because it is. I knew fully going in depth on why that is would just kind of halt the pacing of an already long enough video, so talking about it here was my solution. I'm going to try and be careful what all I say here is to not give anybody a wrong impression or some false hope, but in short, I do want to continue this alternate Henry Stickmin timeline with Defending the Mall serving as the prologue in a sense. There's just a couple of problems with this, however, and some general insights I wanted to share with you guys, so let's talk about it. As I'm sure many of you know, Defending the Mall was made in Scratch, or more specifically, the Turbo Warp mod. I have years of experience with that potato of an engine, and was really able to push it to its maximum with Defending the Mall. I'm still very proud of how the game turned out, but any sort of continuation within even Turbo Warp would just limit me in terms of scale. Obviously, I don't want to make a continuation if I know it can't feasibly be bigger or better than what came before, so that combined with me already wanting to learn some new software throws Scratch and Turbo Warp out the window. This means that before I can continue, I would need to learn new software for both animation and programming. I would also like to try and maybe learn a bit of music theory and eventually start composing some of my own music for future projects. Learning how to do just one of these things is a tall enough feat in its own right, but wanting to learn all three just kicks it up a notch. I know a lot of people wouldn't want to take the time to go this far, but the thing is, I'm kinda looking forward to the challenge. Learning these things will take a long time, especially because I'm in college now, but taking personal time in my day to work on a passion project is one of my favorite things to do, and it's very satisfying for me personally. I just can't wait to expand my creative moveset. That being said, I don't want to permanently be stuck doing things in the traditional Henry fangame format. I had a ton of fun developing Defending the Mall and proving to myself that I could make a competent traditional fangame, but I just don't see myself continuing this way for a number of reasons. Firstly, the main focus of this alternate timeline is story and character. I think some of the longer cutscenes in Defending the Mall executed this concept well enough, but there are certainly moments where the pacing takes a hit because two characters are talking to each other. The official Henry Stickmin games, and most Henry Stickmin fan games, by design, are fast-paced comedies, and while that's fun and I hope to see more of those kinds of fan projects get off the ground soon, it made it awkward to try to structure Defending the Mall around the more character-heavy stuff I wanted to do. Most people did like the change-up, which I'm very grateful for, but I can't blame those people who found the change of pace to be off-putting, especially when the last Henry game that most people played was the official ones. So, this poses that a potential continuation of Defending the Mall would need to look vastly different from its predecessor to better suit my vision. Admittedly, I have had the future of this timeline and ideas for how a sequel could work floating around in my head across the entirety of development, and I do think I've settled on something that would not only give my creative focus more room to breathe, but also not alienate the audience I am very lucky to have grown. As I said earlier, I don't want to say too much and get people hyped up for something that is realistically very far away, but I did want to confirm that this will not be the last of Henry that you see from me. Because this timeline is kind of my own thing, with new and original stuff created by me alongside a new take on Henry himself, I just feel like I have more of an ability to let my creative flow. I understand a lot of people would feel creatively stagnant if they just kept doing fan projects year after year, and while that's completely valid, I just don't feel that way. I've wanted to tell the story that I'm aiming to tell since I animated that first trailer in June of 2024. I feel like I'm just personally equipped to tell it with some of my life's personal experience, and I just can't imagine a future where I don't share that story with the world. It will take time, for sure, but I'm beyond used to how long this kind of thing can take. All of that being said, I do still have some ideas that aren't directly Henry related. Lord willing, I'd love to slowly make some original games over the next several years if time allows for it and if enough people care, but that's a bridge that I can cross later. What I will say for now, as I said in the developer commentary, is that the focus of this channel will remain on my journey as a game designer and general creative. I do have some ideas for smaller scale projects I can make to test these new softwares as I learn them, which I'm sure will make some veteran viewers of the channel especially happy, but I'm going to take my time on this and make games for myself first and foremost. If the passion isn't there, I simply won't create. With Defending the Mall coming out so recently, I'm going to continue taking personal time for myself for a good while. With Defending the Mall coming out so recently, I'm going to continue taking personal time for myself for a good while. I don't know when I'll start getting back to work on some of the things I've talked about today, but I wanted to clearly communicate this channel's future to all of you, my audience, that I'm so lucky to have. Thank you all so much for the support on defending the mall and for watching this video. I'm still working on that fangame tutorial video I mentioned in the developer commentary, and hoping to have it out by the end of the year. I hope some of you get some great use out of it. Have a good day, everybody.